thank you to Ian for their support on Patreon.
After walking down the main avenue, window shopping for a bit, and calming June down through 3 crowd-induced panic attacks, he leads us into a big, very expensive-looking cafe. My thoughts immediately go to whether he can pay for anything here. June, maybe we should go someplace else? Huh? Why? Seriously, how innocent can a person be? How does he not realize it? Oh boy, do I have to tell someone that I think they're too poor to be somewhere? Before I have time to come up with an answer, June's expression shifts.
Could it be that you're worried about this place being expensive?
He's more perceptive than I give him credit for. Well, would you be angry if I said yes?
Don't worry about it. I researched this place beforehand, and I already know how much their menu costs. Of course, I won't be able to order anything expensive like a tart or a parfait, but I should be fine with a light snack and a coffee.
I have to admit, I didn't expect this level of forethought coming from June. His reaction was the complete opposite of what I was expecting. Then again, I think I might infantilize him a little too much. It's easy to forget that he's 1 year older than me. Actually, I still have a hard time believing that piece of information.
Wow, look, they even have a grand piano over there. I didn't see that in the pictures.
June dashes towards the big blue piano they have facing the windows. It's also next to the counter, so a waitress immediately notices June approaching it. Well, hello, would you like some help finding some seats? We're full right now, so you might have to wait a little. It shouldn't be more than 5 minutes. A gazelle goes over to him with a smile on her face, giving June a courteous greeting. Just like she said, the place is really packed. Even I feel a little bit anxious being in here. June, on the other hand, seems completely fixated on the piano. The waitress notices his interest and turns towards the instrument. Oh, you like it? I'll admit it's a big draw to our customers. We even have a few kids who come over here just to bang on the keys. It's actually a pretty expensive one, too. It's from
Steinway and Sons.
June mumbles out, cutting the waitress off and completing her sentence. He seems to snap back to reality. There goes gravity right afterwards and looks apologetic about it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. My mind just kind of filled in the blank before I had time to think about it.
The gazelle, noticing his nervousness, chuckles softly. Oh, don't worry about it. Did you read the brand logo on it before I had time to tell you?
Oh no, I've played on one of these before.
The waitress blinks a few times, her lips part into a radiant smile. Could it be that you know how to play the piano? June nods energetically. Oh wow, that's wonderful. I love the sound of the piano, but I could never play it myself. We actually offer a free dessert to any customer who plays a full song. Would you be interested? June's eyes immediately light up.
Can I?
The waitress smiles, winking at him. Of course, why don't you play us a song while you wait for some seats to be vacant? I'll hold one for you if you're not finished before that.
Okay.
This was unexpected. Although I won't complain about being able to watch him perform again, I just love seeing him play. And I suppose it's not a bad deal for the business either. They get someone to play a song at a much cheaper rate than a decent artist would charge. Although I think with his skills, June could ask for a lot more than a single dessert. He sits down in front of the piano, closes his eyes, taking deep breaths. I can already see a few heads turning his way. Seems like the customers noticed him. I just hope he doesn't choke due to nerves. Then again, he did play a much bigger venue just a few days ago. No, he did freak out that time. Gah, I'm just going around in circles with this logic. I'm making myself nervous instead. But as soon as his fingers touch the keys, a calm and gentle song playing off the piano.
Bang out of the piano! Fuck!
The room that had been boisterous and full of noise up until a second ago becomes completely silent. June's piano is the only thing that makes a sound. No, his piano is the only thing that's allowed to make a sound. As soon as June starts playing, it's as if other sounds were prohibited from sounding. While the melody isn't particularly fast, nor it seems very difficult, it touches the heart. Soon everyone in this cafe has eyes for no one other than June. The piano is his stage, and he shines the brightest whenever he's playing it. This is something I already noticed before, but June turns into a completely different person when he plays. While he's usually bright and cheerful, he can also be meek, shy, and insecure. But whenever he plays the piano, he has an honest, gentle smile on his face. It's as if he was enjoying himself from the bottom of his heart. June's smile, which is as beautiful as the melody he weaves, soon infects me. I'm left grinning from ear to ear. before they've noticed, Jun's music has enthralled all the customers in this cafe better than any words ever could. At this moment alone, Jun is a star. No one dares speak while he's playing. Even the staff seems completely stunned. As the melody starts nearing its inevitable end, the people seem to realize that they were completely paused up until now. Little by little, they start to snap out of their daze, but everyone, single one of them, has a satisfied smile on their face. Once Jun's performance finally reaches an end, he lets out a sigh, opening his eyes and staring at the piano with affection. He strokes the keys as if he was caressing someone very important to him. The waitress from earlier comes back. Her expression is markedly different. While I didn't for a second believe her previous smile was fake, the one she has on her face right now seems so much more genuine. I don't even know what to say. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for playing. The gazelle starts clapping, and soon enough all the other diners follow suit. But it seems only now did Jun notice all the attention his play was gathering. As soon as he turned around and noticed all the people staring at him, his face turns bright red. Thank you. Damn it, I don't know if I've been enthralled by Jun's song as well, but the expression he has on his face right now is just lovely. I actually feel a little bad. I wish I could give you more than just a dessert for that performance. She puts a finger to her chin, staring off into space, seemingly lost in thought. Oh, I know. Hang on a second. The waitress leaves towards another table, then another one, and another one, another one, another one. It seems that she's making rounds on the restaurant. By the way, Jun, what song was that?
Oh, that one was... He scratches the back of his head. That one was actually an original song I composed.
Oh, wow, really? It was insanely beautiful.
It's a little embarrassing playing one of my songs in public, but I just felt like playing that one.
I didn't know you could compose, too.
What do you mean you didn't know? I told you I was planning on becoming a composer. That's why I'm busting my ass to try to get into that school in Germany.
Now that he mentions it, I think I remember him saying something like that a while ago. Sheesh, talk about having a bad memory. Sorry, I completely forgot about it. Still, I had never heard a song you composed before. It was so beautiful, I really have no words. And now he's smiling again. It's so easy. He's so easy to disarm. It's cute.
Now you're just trying to flatter me.
He's so bad at taking compliments. But then again, that's one of his charming qualities. Damn, he really is humble to a fault. It's such a breath of fresh air seeing someone at his level being so nice about it. Most people at his level would be cocky jakes. I'm back! The waitress comes back with a glass jar filled with money. She's grinning from ear to ear, seemingly very pleased with herself. I didn't think it was fair that he'd only get a free dessert after a performance like that, so I asked my manager for permission to ask the customers for donations. We actually got enough to pay for a full meal for the two of you and have some left over.
What?
Wow, honestly, I'm caught by surprise there. When we turn to look at the diners, we see many of them are looking at Jun with big smiles on their faces. Is this the power of music?
I don't know if I can accept this. It's not like I wanted to get something out of it. I just did it because I wanted to play.
The waitress nods. But these people decided to chip in because they really loved seeing you perform. Really? Most of the customers were ecstatic to put some money in. They thought you deserved to get something out of that performance.
Even if you say that.
Come on, please. I even chipped in a little myself. I just really loved your playing. I don't think I've ever heard that prettier melody. Whoa, for someone like Jun, who is not used to the attention, having all these people suddenly focusing on him and praising him must be a little overwhelming. Just as I'm afraid that Jun might start freaking out, he takes a deep breath and nods.
If they're really sure about it, then...
As soon as Jun reaches for the jar, he glances over at the other people at the cafe. Most of them are smiling and nodding at him as if telling him, it's okay to accept it, we want to give this to you. It's a scene I myself would never believe could happen if I weren't witnessing this. And to be honest, I think no one deserves this as much as Jun does. After a couple of minutes of wait, a table near him finally clears for us to sit down and eat. During our entire stay at the cafe, we have had a bunch of people coming over to our table to speak with Jun. It was quite a weird experience seeing him become so beloved to so many strangers, but all the people who watched him perform left the establishment with a smile on their face. I never knew the music could be this powerful. Honestly, I feel as if I'm spewing lines straight out of a romance manga. Why is it I always end up thinking this sort of stuff when I'm with him? It's a bit embarrassing for a guy my age to be romanticizing everyday life so much. A little after lunch, we leave the cafe feeling quite pleased with ourselves. The money that was given to June was enough to pay for both of our meals, including desserts, and there was still some left over that the staff insisted June take with him. I also insisted on paying my part, but June absolutely refused. "This is for all you've done for me. Please accept it," he said. Honestly, I kinda didn't want to, but it was hard to refuse it. I could tell that June really wanted to be able to treat me, and he was pretty happy when I accepted too. Honestly, he's so pure that he's liable to bring me to tears. "Is there any other place you'd like to go to, Rutherford-san?" Huh? June's words snapped me out of my daze and bring me back to earth. Jeez, I'm already spacing out in the middle of the day. That's not good. Did he say something else? I didn't realize it because I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, did you say something else? You don't have to look so amused by my confusion. Don't worry. You were looking kind of cute spacing around, so I was just having fun watching you. What? My cheeks suddenly feel incredibly hot. That's a really embarrassing thing to say all of a sudden. I see. Anyway, no, I don't really have any preferences. What about you? Let's see. Wasn't this whole deal supposed to be good to go to an amusement park? June starts humming a familiar song. Does that mean he has no idea what and is trying to think of something? Honestly, didn't you plan all this beforehand, or are you just winging it by this point? I have no idea. You don't have to look so happy just because you figured it out. I know you're sort of an airhead, but at least try to think of a little bit about stuff beforehand. Didn't you tell me you already knew where you wanted to go today? June looks ahead again. At least the area we're walking through isn't very crowded right now. June seems a lot more relaxed than he usually is out in public. Maybe it's some lingering effect from his performance at the cafe. Well, I know I want to go to the amusement park, and I knew I wanted to eat at this cafe. Other than that, I haven't given it much thought. If you're out of ideas, we could just go to the park now. June shakes his head in negative. I don't want to go right now. It's still too early. I mean, I know I said I wanted to go to the amusement park, but I think I'm enjoying the company more than I'd be enjoying the park, so I don't really think it matters what we do. God! Badoomp! Why did my heart just go badoomp? Shit, my face feels so hot right now. Did my heart just skip a beat? Why is my heart skipping a beat? Wow, what's this? Why is my mind getting so hazy all of a sudden? Deep breaths, just take deep breaths. In, out, in, out. Are you alright, Rutherford, son? He's so... Look at this big man! Without me even noticing it, June has gotten a lot closer to me. He was walking on the tip of his toes, looking me in the eyes with worry. Do you have a fever or something? Your face is really red. Yeah. I don't want to hear that sort of thing from you. Your face was redder than a tomato back at the cafe. Eh? I can't help it. Of course I'd get embarrassed in a situation like that. What do you have to be embarrassed about? I'm asking myself the same thing. Anyway, let's just think of another place to go so we can kill time before we go to the amusement park. Change the subject! Sounds good. Do you have any suggestions? Jeez, this guy can switch gears so fast it gives me a headache trying to keep track of his mood. Well, at least he's not up in my face anymore. Wah, my face is getting hot again. Think of something else. Why am I getting nervous? I've never been the type to get nervous before. How about we go to... Crap, I'm drawing a blank. What did June like other than playing piano? Let's see, there's video games. We could go to a video game store. There's also books. I remember saying he liked books. Wait, that's it. I have an idea. June looks at me with expectation, and I just remembered a piece of information that gave me the perfect clue as to what we should do next. Ha, bless you, memory. How about we go to the bookstore? A bookstore? Why a bookstore? That's not a very fun place to go to. I nod. Yeah, sure, but I know you like books, right? Well, yeah, I do, but won't you be bored there? I shake my head in negative. I might not be the most avid reader, but I still enjoy books every now and then if they're really interesting. But that's not really the reason I suggested that. Once again, June looks at me in confusion. That money you have left over from lunch, I'm pretty sure it'd be enough for you to buy a book. And I remember you telling me that this trilogy you really like just had its last book coming out a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, you're right. I honestly didn't expect you to remember that. I was just so sure that you weren't even listening to me when I was talking about the books.
Why would you think that?
Well, I got the feeling you were just looking for random topics of conversation to calm me down when I was freaking out about the competition.
He's much more perceptive than I give him credit for.
That really sounds like a great idea. I haven't even thought about using the money for that. Thank you so much, Rutherford-san.
Well, I didn't really do much, just gave him a suggestion. But it feels kind of good having June's be so happy with me. I have a sudden urge to fawn over June like a child. God, control yourself, he's older than you and he hates being treated like a kid. Even though he acts like one most of the time.
Alright, off to the nearest bookstore we go.
Aye, aye. But still, I can't help but be swallowed up by his carefree pace whenever I'm with him. Hanging out with June is so much fun. This is literally just Barnes & Noble. I can recognize that tile floor anywhere. Stepping into the bookstore, I can't help but notice the scent of alcohol tickling my nose. It's not a smell I'd usually associate with a place like this, but when I look at the counter, I see a clerk wiping it with a cloth. So that's it. The air inside is dry and a little dusty. The sun's rays entering through the window illuminate and reveal the particles of dust floating through the air. For some reason, my nose starts to itch a little bit.
Huh, they have a pretty good selection over here.
June walked over to a pile of books and started browsing them. While I fully expected him to be interested in the manga section, he actually went for real books. I know it's kind of mean to think something like this, but up until I saw it with my own eyes, I had heard time believing that June actually read real books. I really am a sucky friend, huh? What kind of books are you looking at over there? He's casually flipping the pages of a very big book as if it was nothing.
This one is a fantasy book I had been interested in reading for a while, but I never knew if it was a good fit.
Why not? June puts it back on the shelf and picks up another one.
I hear that the story is very complicated and political. I'm afraid I'd have a hard time following it. I tend to prefer simpler books, high fantasy and the like. When things get too detailed, I tend to lose myself in the plot.
That's a surprisingly valid point coming from you. Ooh, he didn't like that. June sets the book down and looks up at me in annoyance.
Why surprisingly?
I mean, honestly, I didn't expect you to have trouble with these books. I really thought you'd blaze through them with no problem.
Is that so?
Safe. I really have to watch what the hell I say. I don't want to end up angering him by accident. Though I think the main problem is the skewed opinion I have of him, isn't it?
I don't see the book I'm looking for. Maybe they'll have a copy of it in the back of the store? It's also a new release of a pretty popular book, so it might have run out too. That would suck. I hope that's not the case.
June walked up to the clerk that was wiping the counter with it just a little while ago.
Excuse me?
The clerk, a lynx, is wearing a pair of earbuds. He notices June approaching and takes them off.
Yeah, how can I help you?
Do you still have any copies of the book The Red Keep that was released this week?
That's the one written by that foreign guy. What was his name again? Paul White.
Paul White? Paul White? That's the name of the big show. June nods.
Hang on just a second, let me check the system.
Link starts typing something on his computer.
Looks like we have one last copy left.
Yay, I'll take it!
But it's at our other store on the other side of town.
What? No way! How far is it to the other store?
You'd have to take at least 3 different trains and a bus.
No way!
June's shoulders immediately sag, his whole mood deflating.
Why does this sort of thing always happen to me?
Excuse me, is there any way you could have this book shipped to this store? We live close by, so going to the other one would be incredibly inconvenient. I decided to intervene to look for a way to have this dealt with. Stands to reason that they'd be willing to sell the books so they could have it shipped, right? An awkward look on the Lynx's face tells me otherwise.
Well,
He scratches the back of his neck.
it's true that we could, but I honestly wouldn't recommend it. Our store charges a big fee on shipping. It'd be way cheaper for you to just go there yourself.
How much is it with the shipping?
Let's see. 3,625 yen with shipping.
So that's $36. $36 for shipping. Holy God. From one side of town to the other? What? That's double the price of the book itself. I don't have that much left. We'll take it. Please have it ordered. When can we pick it up? I immediately pull my wallet out and grab a couple of bills inside. Rutherford-san, what are you doing? I'm buying a book for you, of course. What does it look like I'm doing? But I can't have you doing that for me. This guy can be so stubborn at the most annoying moments. I already know how he is, trying to convince him to let me give this as a gift to be long and frankly annoying process. In this case, how about I go with this? Don't misunderstand, I'm not doing this for you. You're not? I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to be spending the rest of the day with you and to know that you're going to be sulking if you didn't get this book. Dealing with that would be annoying, so this is as much for my own good as anything else. There, how about this? Jun stands there completely shocked, his mouth open wide.
Well, that's kind of cold.
This is none of your business. Jeez, I feel like an asshole for saying something like that. He's probably going to be mad at me because of it, right? If he at least accepts the book, then I'm going to be fine with it. I understand. I'll accept it then. Ooh, goddamn. Goddamn. You fucked up, man. You shouldn't have said that. You will? You mean that actually worked? Holy shit, I didn't expect it to work. Alright, here's the money then. When can we come back and get it? The clerk takes a while to respond. He's been snapped back out of his own daze. He takes the money from my hand and deposits it in the register when he types a few things on his computer. Alright, I placed the order. They're going to send the book over here. You can come back and get it at the end of the business day or by tomorrow if you'd like. We're open from 8 to 11 on Sundays. I nod and thank him for his assistance, turning back to face Jun, who is still... Oh my God. God, you shouldn't have fucking said that. Oh my God. That was a terrible fucking thing to say. Jesus tits. Look at his fucking face. I wonder if he's mad at me for what I said. Do you want to buy anything else? I ended up buying the book for you, so I suppose you still have leftover money to spend? Jun shakes his head sideways. No thanks, I think I'll use the money at the park. Or, is there anything you'd like me to buy for you? I make a dismissive gesture with my hand. Don't worry about it, I don't usually spend much money, so I have quite a bit saved up. If there's anything I want, I can buy it for myself, no problem. I see. Jun looks down at the ground. Well, if there's nothing else you want to check out, then how about we go somewhere else? Didn't we come here to pass time in the first place? Why are you acting as if you didn't want to check in anything now? Jun nods. God damn, his fucking God. I don't like him looking at me like this. Jesus. We walk around the streets for a few more minutes, browsing the products in the windows and checking out a couple of shops. But Jun remains silent the whole time. I feel so terrible. I didn't even choose it. It's just something our dumbass character had to go and fucking say, I'm not doing this for you. I'm going to do it so you don't whine. That's such a dick fucking thing to say. My God. He's definitely mad at me for what I said at the bookstore, isn't he? Hey, Jun-kun, are you alright? Instead of giving me an actual answer, he just makes a random noise. You're mad at me for what I said at the store, aren't you? I'm sorry. I guess I was really out of line. Now that I play the part of the repentant friend who was sorry for having been an ass, and everything should be okay. Instead of accepting my apology, Jun merely sighs as if there were somehow some sort of annoyance to him. You didn't have to do this, Rutherford-san. Huh? What are you talking about? I've been with you almost every day since I met you. By this point, I already know you're not the kind of person who'd say something like that. You were just acting like that, like I was annoying you, so I'd take the gift. How did you even know that? Oh, please. You might be brash and snide at times, but you're never plain rude. You're still one of the most kind-hearted people I know. Shit, I had to look away just now. How could you say something like that without even being a little embarrassed? My chest feels tight. What is this? You alright, Rutherford-san? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, this won't do. I was so distracted I ended up making him worry. Still, Jun feels a little different today. Or is it because I've never actually really paid attention before? He's been just more perceptive than usual. I guess I got caught with that one, huh? Just out of curiosity, why did you accept the book if you knew what I was doing? Any normal person would assume that I'd get mad after being talked to like that, so you had to have thought of that when you did that, what you did. What? Whoa! Okay, what? Any normal person would assume that I'd get mad after being talked to like that, so you had to have thought of that when you did what you did. Oh. If you were willing to have me get mad at you just for the sake of me accepting a gift, then if you're willing to go that far for it, I just felt like I had to accept. Like always, I cannot follow this thought process at all. Most of the time he acts like he doesn't put any thought into what he does. Hell, not long ago he admitted to winging our entire meeting after telling me he had already planned the whole thing out. It's really hard to keep up with his pace at times. I guess this means I've been defeated. Was I overthinking it? No, not at all. You definitely managed to figure out my whole plan perfectly. I'm honestly surprised with how much you know me. Well, of course, I'm well aware that I'm just a newcomer at you guys' group. You've all been very kind to include me in most of your meetings and hangouts, but the reality is that I'm not yet part of the group dynamic. It's easy for me to get left out of conversations because I just don't know enough about you guys to participate, so whenever that happens, I just make sure to observe you all to try to learn more about you. Well, wow, I didn't know you had given it this much thought. Now that I think of it, I guess Jun is kind of similar to Shoichi in a few aspects. Both of them were the type of people who try to always be considerate. I always thought Jun was acting very carefree around us, but could it be that he was just actually keeping an eye on us and matching our pace? Thinking about this sort of stuff is confusing and makes my head hurt. By the way, if you knew what I was doing, why did you get so silent? I've spent the past half hour worrying about you being mad at me. Jun looks away. Still, I can tell from the tip of his ears that he's blushing. I've never really had anyone go to such lengths to do something nice for me, so I felt a little awkward. I've actually been thinking of a way that I could reciprocate the gesture since we left the bookstore. Just like I thought, Jun really is a good person. He's so adorable when he's like this, I just feel like I can't leave him alone. For some reason, I really have fun fussing over him and taking care of him. How about we get some crepes? It'll be my treat. I'll pass. I eat too many sweets at the cafe. That's so? You look fine to me. It's not like I'm feeling bad or anything. My stomach just feels a little bloated. His shirt does look a bit tighter than usual. Which reminds me. Hey, Jun, isn't it a little hot outside today for you to be wearing a long-sleeve shirt? Come to think of it, I've only ever seen you wearing long sleeves. I just feel more comfortable with these. I don't really like having my arms uncovered, that's all. Oh, no. I'm not going to assume. It really doesn't seem like this game would go to that place. But I guess we'll see. But you're sweating. Am I? I reached out and tugged at his belly area. Sure enough, his shirt is wet. Rutherford-son, please don't do this all of a sudden. What, I just pinched your shirt. I didn't touch you or anything. It's not the touching I mind. You just really surprised me. I thought you were going to lift up my shirt. Why would I do that? You have some crazy ideas sometimes, Jun. Well, it's not like I mind. It's this uniqueness of his that makes it fun to hang out with him anyway. I still don't like how much you're sweating. Maybe we could go someplace and have cold drinks. Preferably someone that's air-conditioned. I wouldn't say no to that. Bingo! This means he wanted to do that, but didn't want to ask. For someone so random, you can sure be easy to read at times. Luckily enough, there's an ice cream shop nearby. I used to come here sometimes, especially in the summer. Most of the time it was when I was hanging out with Shoichi and Saya. Boy, that was a while ago. I didn't even know Keikun back then. Feel free to get whatever you want, it's my treat. What? No, I can't accept that. Come on, pretty please. I'm the one who insisted on coming over here to at least let me treat you. I feel like you end up treating me a lot. It's because I worry about you. Take this as a sign that you're my friend. Somehow I don't remember ever seeing you treat anyone else, though. Jeez, he's still trying to squirm his way out of it. All my other friends have more money than I do. Why should I treat them? I suppose that's true in a sense, but even though you guys have more money than I do, I still want to treat you all. I just don't have the money to. Give him a pat on the back. There, don't worry so much about it. If you really want to please me, then just take my offer and let me treat you, okay? I even make sure to wink at him as I say this. I'll pile on the encouragement to make him accept it. Now that I think of it, I don't think I've ever been this adamant not about wanting to take care of someone. Not even my brother. Aki, I'm so sorry. Big Bro promises he'll do something nice for you when he comes home. I guess I'll take you up on the offer then. Do you mind if I have a milkshake? Of course not. You can have a milkshake. Of course not. I told you to have whatever you like. In the end, Jun and I both ordered milkshakes. Milkshake. He got a strawberry shake and I got a vanilla shake. To be honest, the milkshake here isn't as good as I remembered. But Jun... Wow, this is amazing! I only ever had milkshakes a couple of times before, and they were all from super cheap burger joints. This one is so much better than them. And oh, they actually put some of the frosting on top of it, and they added some sprinkles. And I'm honestly having trouble keeping up with him because of how fast he's talking. I guess giving a sugary drink to an already hyperactive person probably wasn't the best idea in the world in hindsight. Hey, Jun, by the way, do you have any idea what you want to do at the amusement park? How about we go on the roller coaster or the drop tower? I hear they have a haunted house. Not so subtle attempt to change the subject. Let's see if it pays off. Those are perfectly acceptable ideas, I guess. All of those sound like terrible places for Jun to go. Why would you put a man with a nervous temperament in a haunted house, on a roller coaster, or on the big drop? And they don't seem to have been well received. What's wrong? You don't like them? Well, it's not that I don't really like them. Sorry, I'm just not really good at dealing with the stuff that makes your heart race. I'm no adrenaline junkie. Aw, but those are the best rides. Don't make him feel bad. You can still go. I'd just rather not go with. Oh shit! I didn't make him feel bad. No, don't worry about it. Really, I don't really need to go on those. What sort of attractions did you want to visit? Well, I was thinking of going on stuff like the carousel or the bumper cars. Tamer stuff. I like to think of those as the boring stuff, but I suppose different people have different tastes. Sure, we can go on those, no problem. Thank you, Rutherford son. You're being really nice to me. Well, I'm nice to everyone. Jun chuckles, taking another sip from his milkshake. True, but you're usually also snarky and sarcastic with people while you're helping them. I don't recall you ever doing that to me. Huh. That's actually true. If I've ever been snarky to Jun, I don't really remember it. I wonder why that is. I hadn't really thought of it about that before. Maybe I should start treating you like that so no one can accuse me of playing favorites. I say so with a devious smile on my face. No, there's no need. I prefer it like this. Alright, then I'll continue to play favorites with you. Okay. He's so easy to please. By the way, what time is it right now? I don't want to be too late to the amusement park. Oh, let me check. It's almost 3 p.m. Are you about ready to head to the park? He nods excitedly. Alright, gotta make sure to pay our tab before we leave.